David, Ivanka, as we know, Laura just reiterated, Ivanka is not a defendant. Her testimony so far has been measured. How could her testimony really help or hurt this case?
Well, I think some of what she testified to so far today, Nichole, has helped the Attorney General's case a little bit in a couple of different places. First, establishing pattern and practice of the way that the organization conducted business as far back as when she admittedly claimed to be more involved in the business dealings. And secondly, either she got a really incredible friends and family discount on that penthouse, or the value of that penthouse was overinflated in the financial statements. And so that plays right into what the Attorney General is talking about. On the other hand, she has been doing a good job of distancing herself from decisions that were made by her father and by the organization in terms of who prepared reports. Did she know if her father saw these reports? Was she part and parcel to the preparation of those reports? So that in some ways helps the defense that's being put forward. So I think it's been, probably about 80-20 helpful for the Attorney General so far.
All right, and this morning, we heard that. Laura also played that for us, too, from the AG, that sound with Letitia James there speaking to reporters, predicting that Ivanka would be trying to separate herself. Again, we don't know yet, obviously, what will happen now post-lunch, but we know what happened prior to the lunch break. The AG saying that Ivanka is inextricably linked to the company. Is she going to be able to successfully distance herself?
Well, she's trying to do that by putting herself and her involvement far back in time, at a time where some of the charges, the statute of limitations has expired. The retort to that by the Attorney General had been that these valuations needed to be updated and continuing. She certainly couldn't distance herself from the three specific negotiations they talked about: the apartment that she purchased, the negotiations for the purchase of the Doral Club and Resort down here in Miami, and then finally for the post office in Washington. She claimed to be active and involved in those. And as far as Doral goes, she was negotiating directly with the bankers. So not doing a very good job of distancing herself from those activities, but those, in their mind, I would guess, are so remote in time that it's not really tied to the case that's being presented for charges that are within the statute of limitations.
All right. So speaking of the fact that, those are linked to something so far removed, and again, I want to reiterate, she is no longer a part of this case. Is there a chance, though, she could potentially face any charges in the future based on the outcome of this case?
No, not really, because the way they're trying to get her testimony in and how they're showing it's relevant, the arguments they're making to the judge over the objections from the defense, is that, yes, it's remote, but the obligation current and continuing for Trump and the Trump organization after her involvement was to update those financial statements. And so they're arguing it's relevant to the current charges on behalf of the people who are left in the case. But as to her, they are admitting that she's well past the statute of limitations. So it doesn't look like, unless they can tie her to something that happened recently within the last 5 years regarding these financial statements, she's going to open herself up to anything currently pending.
All right, David Weinstein weighing in for us once again. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.